So
She was reading the time under the booking sheet, under that photo.
above page, she's reading page 10.
12. Page 12, on top of it, I thought,
Oh, I see what you mean.
yes. I thought
Okay.
it meant,
10/21.
yes,
And was he in custody from 10/21 until 10/27?
yes.
All right, and do I have his discharge time? Or release date from city jail? I don't mean, I'm just being a little stinkety about it because I need to know. I have him booked into the Fulton County Jail on October 27. So if you can get a verification from City of Atlanta Jail that he was in custody, then you get a signature bond through the jail.
Okay,
Okay,
all righty.
Right.
I'll try to
courtroom 2, who do we have, please?
One quick announcement. Position number 3 is now going to be a medical reset.
Okay, Damian Bennett is a medical reset,
That's not you.
and that will be reset till tomorrow, October 28th at 2 p.m. And who do we have in the seat, sir?
This is going to be position number 4, Mr. Wesley Bond.
All right. Wesley Thomas Bond is accused of driving and striking an unattended vehicle. There are 2 counts of this particular incident from October 25th, 2023. Mr. Bond, you've been advised of your right to remain silent, and your attorney is Ms. Abden.
Second arrest, 2022 robbery dismissed. That's all.
All right. Ms. Baker, what's the bond recommendation?
Thank you, Judge. This stems from a location where he was apparently being evicted. He crashed his vehicle into 2 different cars. So the state is requesting that he not return to 2470 Cheshire Bridge Road. No driving. No further contact with the owner of one of the vehicles, Alyssa, ALLYSIA, Bryant, BRYANT. No drugs, alcohol, or weapons, and we would ask for a signature bond through pretrial services. Thank you.
Any objection, Ms. Abden?
No, Your Honor, we would just need a one-time law enforcement escort, and he's in the process of moving. And so he does have a valid address that we can send mail to. We'll also be representing him. I know the address there is Florida, and so I just wanted to let the court know that he does want that to be his mailing address. That's
Boca Raton, Florida?
Just so he can make sure that he receives notices while he's in the transition stage of moving. It's a family member, and they'll make sure that, you know, he gets the mail so it doesn't get lost.
All right, just 1 second. I am concerned that if he was being evicted as the prosecution says, then he's not allowed back in the property.
I don't have information about that, Your Honor. He did tell me that he's supposed to be there until November 1st. So I did not speak to him about that.
Well, I can get a hotel also.
So my understanding is he's currently under an eviction notice, and it should be executed on Monday, the 30th. And I guess we should sound for the victim as well, just in case she has some input on whether he should be at that location.
Alyssa Bryant?
I don't know who that is. It's like a random call.
On the each count, the bond is set at $2,500. It's going to be a $5,000 signature bond through pretrial services. He's allowed to return to that location one time only, with a police officer. That visit cannot exceed 1 hour. It's only a 1 hour visit. He may go to the unit where he lives or used to live to remove his personal belongings, and after that he has to stay away from the entire complex at 2470 Cheshire Bridge Road in Atlanta, Georgia. He's to have no contact with Alyssa Bryant, and he is not to consume any illegal drugs, alcohol, or possess any weapons or firearms. And he is also to not drive unless he has a valid driver's license, adequate insurance, and proper registration. Thank you.
Thank you, Your
Thank
Honor.
you, Judge.
And Mr. Bond, the person you're to not speak with, that's one of the people's vehicles that you allegedly struck. Just wanted to let you know.
Per judge.
I was saying, if I was to see her again, I'd have no clue who that is. Like,
Not a problem. So just stay away from her. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Next, Your Honor, we have position number 5, Mr. Ronnie Boyd.
Okay. Ronnie Boyd's accused of criminal trespass from October 26th of this year, case 23 CR 6752E. Mr. Boyd, you've been advised of your right to remain silent, and your attorney is Ms. Abden. Any priors?
Oh, yeah, he got over 50. Last arrest was 2021, failed to appear out of the cab. Got an open shoplifting in Superior Court, 22 SC 181603. You want me to keep going? That's fine. 2021 shoplifting, 2019 probation shoplifting, failed to appear. 2018 shoplifting conviction, 2016 failed to appear.
That's good. Thank you. Ms. Baker?
Thank you, Judge. This is the companion case for the other gentleman where they entered the premises located at 3520 Cascade Road in order to sleep, use gas to light the fireplace. Suppose we could sound for the victim if desired. The state is requesting a signature bond through the jail that he stay away from 3520 Cascade Road, no further contact with his with the gentleman that is the manager for the business. Name is Mr. Tompkins. No drugs, weapons, or alcohol. And I believe that's it. Basically to stay away. I think all of this stems from his situation with not having a fixed address. Thank you.
Ms. Abden, I'm going to issue a $5,000 signature bond through the jail. Stay away from the Cascade driving range at 3520 Cascade Road in Atlanta, Georgia. No illegal drugs and no weapons.
No objection, Your Honor. Just for the record, he does have a stable address in Georgia. He resides with his mom.
In Atlanta or in Georgia?
You know, I'm not familiar with this address. It's Fairburn Road, Southwest.
Yeah, right. It's close by. Okay. Within 30 days, he needs to make sure he comes to the court and confirms his mailing address. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Next, we have position number 7, Mr. Christopher Childs.
Christopher with a KH is that's Christopher Daniel Childs. 23 CR 6755E. Mr. Childs is accused of 4 offenses stemming from an October 10th, 2023 incident. The charges are battery, family violence, battery against a female who is pregnant, simple battery, family violence, and simple battery against a person who is pregnant. Mr. Charles, you've been advised of your right to remain silent, and your attorney is Ms. Abden. Any priors?
Third arrest. He got an open case out of Clayton County. Criminal use of an article with officer ID mark. Possession of a firearm by convicted felon. He's on probation in Henry County for 2 counts of burglary, first degree. That's all.
And the firearm case is in Clayton County?
Correct.
Ms. Baker?
Thank you, Judge. This incident involved the defendant and the mother of his child. At the time, obviously, she was pregnant with his second child. The dispute arose after she refused to have relations with him. He threw a PlayStation at her. He grabbed her by the legs and pulled her out of bed. When he pulled her out of bed, their child was in the bed with her, so the child was present. He punched her in the face, took her keys and left. She was complaining of cramping. Again, she is pregnant. Medical responded to that location, but could not transport her because she had a small child with her. She was able to get herself to a medical facility and get checked out to have the baby monitored, was given medication to stop cramping so that she would not go into labor. She did have visible injuries on her elbow and her stomach. My understanding is that she is afraid of the defendant. She's taken multiple steps to ensure her own safety, including changing the locks at her residence. She states that the defendant has his clothing and that there is no reason for him to return to that location. The state's bond recommendation or request is a $10,000 surety bond, $3,000 on each battery and $2,000 on each simple battery. That he stay away from her address. I'm happy to provide that if the court does not have it.
Is it the Rebel Forest location?
That is, yes,
All right,
ma'am.
I've got it. Thank you.
No further contact with Ariana Burden. That's AARIANNA. Family violence and no drugs, alcohol, or weapons, obviously, if he's a convicted felon. And I would sound for the victim, please.
Miss Ariana Burden, if you are present on the Zoom, this is your opportunity to contribute. All right, Miss Apton.
Thank you, Your Honor. I am requesting a reduced bond if Your Honor is inclined. My client cannot pay a $10,000 bond, does not have the means to do so. He is working, but he does have 3 children. He does deny the allegations, Your Honor. He stated that she was the first aggressor and he was defending himself. And he would not object to a no further contact and a stay away. They do not reside together. I understand the court's concern with the prior and the nature of the allegations, Your Honor. But as the state stated, the complaining witness has taken substantial steps to ensure her safety. And my client understands his obligation to return to court. And so I am requesting a signature bond if Your Honor is inclined, and if not, a low bond.
All right. On the battery family violence is going to be a $1,000 surety bond. The battery against the female who is pregnant, that's going to be a $3,000 surety bond. The simple battery is going to be a $1,000 surety bond. And the simple battery against person who is pregnant, that's going to be a $2,000 surety bond. That's a total of a $7,000 surety bond. Next court date is November 9th. No further contact with Ariana Burden to stay away from 1091 Rebel Forest Drive in Southeast Atlanta. He does not get a one-time visit. There is no one-time visit, no illegal drugs, no alcohol, no weapons, and no firearms. Any contact that he wants with the children that he shares with Ms. Burden, both children, I'm assuming, shall be done by a court order when he files a legitimation action. Until then, he's to have no contact with Ms. Burden and 2 children. He may file a legitimation action and get a court order to establish visitation and custody. Thank you.
What was that total?
7.
7,000 surety.
And Your Honor, just for the record, he does share 1 child with Miss Burden, not 2. And that
No.
child is 1 year old.
Yeah, so the child that's in being right now, no contact unless you get visitation. And I think the warrant said she was 6 months pregnant. So if when that child comes into being, then that's another no contact.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you, Judge.
All right, thank you, Mr. Charles.
Oh, I got it.
Next, we got position number 10, Mr. Kendall Edwards.
Mr. Charles understands that was a surety bond, correct?
I hope so.
Deputy,
Yes.
he understands that was a surety bond. He has to
Yeah, I
pay.
just told him the $7,000 surety bond. You gotta go with.
All right, thank you. All right, this is Mr. Terrence Cofield, is that correct?
No, this is position number 10, Mr. Kendall.
10. Oh, excuse me, one more page over. Thank you. This is Kendall Edwards. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Case number is 23 CR 6734B. Mr. Edwards is accused of battery, family violence from October 26, 2023. Mr. Edwards, you have a right to remain silent and as explained, and your attorney is Ms. Abdon. Any priors, Mr. Howard?
Second arrest, a resident of Mississippi. 2013, possession of stolen firearm, possession of a controlled substance.
And that was a conviction?
It didn't say, it just listed the charge.
Okay,
Let me look again.
all right. Ms. Baker?
Thank you, Judge. I showed that as an arrest. I couldn't tell whether it was conviction or not. This incident occurred at 4505 Best Road in College Park. Apparently that's a business, so the state is going to ask that the defendant be made to stay away from there. The 911 caller stated the defendant had gotten into a fight with his child's mother. They do share one child, and we do show that they are both residents of Mississippi. The officers relied on video footage from the business, which showed Mr. Edwards throwing Miss Tucker on the ground and slamming her phone into the ground. Her name is Kadedra, Kadedra, Tucker. I believe I've spelled that correctly. Apparently they're living at an extended stay and we're experiencing some stressors over finances. The state's requesting a signature bond through pretrial services that he stay away from the incident location. No further contact with Kadedra Tucker. Family violence intervention, stay away from her residence if it's separate from his. And third party contact if for child exchange, no drugs, alcohol, or weapons. And I would ask to sound for the victim, please.
Kadedra, and what was the last name? Edwards as well?
Tucker. Tucker is her last name.
Tucker, thank you.
Thank you.
All right, Miss Kadedra Tucker, if you want to contribute to this hearing, I'll need to place you under oath. Please raise your other right hand. Do you solemnly swear and affirm the testimony you provide will be the truth to the best of your knowledge?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Do you still reside at the extended stay?
Yes, ma'am.
And are y'all still residents of Mississippi?
No, we both are truck drivers over the road. We both got our commercial driver's license. So we're just newly here to Georgia.
What does that mean? Where do you live then?
You asked me if I currently reside at the extended stay. I responded yes.
Okay, so you're living at the extended stay, so you reside in Georgia.
Yes, correct.
And you here temporarily because of a job, or are you going back to Mississippi?
No, I'm here actually temporarily in the hotel until I find a place to live here,
I
home.
see.
Yes.
I see. Okay. And how do you feel about Mr. Kendall Edwards joining you at the home?
He's totally welcome. Like I said, it was just a brief altercation where I had my belongings and we were tugging at it and I fell on the ground. He didn't physically harm me, like not one time, and I don't feel unsafe around him.
Okay. Thank you. Ms. Abdon?
Thank you, Your Honor. And so to my understanding, they did move to Georgia in 2020 because they're both truck drivers. They stay in hotels. That's just kind of how it works, is what I was told. My client just got a new job. He passed the screening orientation, supposed to start November 6th, and that job is in Georgia. It's in Canton, Georgia, Your Honor. And so it sounds like they're going to move here. In the meantime, Your Honor, he's also working in Instacart until he starts his new job. As you've heard, he does have a 9-year-old daughter. Based on the testimony of the complaining witness, I am going to request no further violent contact so they can continue co-parenting and living together. And no objection to the signature bond, but I do object to the family violence intervention program given the allegations and the history.
All right, thank you. The bond is going to be set at $3,500. It's going to be a signature bond. through pretrial services. He's going to have to make 1 day available in his busy schedule to report to pretrial once a month. While he's out on bond, he will complete a 1-day anger awareness program with pretrial services. No further violent contact with Khadidra Tucker. So that means they can live together if they choose to do so. No illegal drugs, no alcohol, no weapons, and no firearms. So, Mr. Edwards, if you are in possession of a firearm due to the nature of your job, you have to relinquish it. You have to surrender that to the authorities. You're not allowed to have a firearm on your person, in your home. If you are living in a home with Ms. Tucker, there cannot be any firearms in the home, whether it belongs to you or Ms. Tucker. And there cannot be any firearms in any vehicle that you occupy.
Yes,
Your
ma'am.
next court date will be sent to your address that you provide to the court. So if you change your address, you need to make sure that we have your current mailing address by coming down to the clerk's office and submitting that in writing. Right now, we only have your Mississippi address. So I highly recommend that within 30 days of being released, you come to the clerk's office and update us with your current mailing address, phone number, and email.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
Your Honor, would I be
That's-
able to provide the court with his address?
Yeah, you can put that in the chat to
Thank you.
Mr. Howard, pre-trial. You need to provide it to April Champion, our litigation manager, and to Miss Baker.
That's per judge.
Yes, sir.
Will do. Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, I'm going to take this case in courtroom 3, please. And that's Miss Adams' case. Courtroom 2, I'll be with you shortly. And this is position 13, I think.
Judge, that's my case as well.
Okay.
Thank you.
Mr. Chauncey, do you solemnly swear and affirm the translation you provide will be a true and accurate interpretation with no changes and embellishments? Sorry?
I do.
Thank you. All right. This is case 23 CR 6736Y, State versus Pascual Lopez Perez.
Este es el caso 23 CR 0063736Y, el Estado en contra de Pascual López Pérez.
Mr. Lopez Perez, you have a right to remain silent about the facts of the case. Anything you choose to say can and will be used against you in the treatment of your case.
Señor López Pérez, usted tiene el derecho a guardar silencio. Todo lo que diga referente a este caso puede y será usado en su contra.
You have a right to an attorney. If you cannot afford one, one will be appointed to represent you, and her name is Samantha Adams.
Usted tiene derecho a ser representado por un abogado y si no puede contratar uno, se le otorgará, se le asignará uno por el tribunal y su abogada ahora es Samantha Adams.
You are accused of battery, family violence, and criminal trespass causing damage to property from a October 26, 2023 incident.
Usted tiene un cargo por golpes y lesiones, violencia familiar y también por allanamiento de morada, causando daño a la propiedad el día 26 de octubre del 2023.
May I have his criminal history record, if any?
Por favor, ¿puedo tener sus antecedentes penales, si hay alguno?
Fifth arrest. Last arrest is in August. Driving without a valid license. And the
Ah,
Oh, wait.
Hay 4 arrestos, este es el quinto, el último fue el 21 de agosto por manejar sin licencia.
04 ag stalking battery conviction.
04X, can you please repeat that? please?
2004 ag stalking battery conviction.
También hay una convicción del año 2004 en Canton County.
It's aggravated stalking and battery
Yes.
in 2004.
He was recommended.
Okay,
Esta
just one
agresión,
second, just one second. Ms. Chauncey, the record says aggravated stalking.
el cargo
Battery.
es de, este, es de, acecho con agravantes.
anything else that you needed, Ms. Chauncey?
I think it was aggravated stalking and something else, if you don't
Yeah.
mind to repeat.
Mr. Howard, could you please repeat the whole in full without the short form?
Like start over?
Yes.
2004 aggravated stalking
And battery conviction.
y una convicción de golpes y lesiones. Thank you, sir.
He was recommended.
He was recommended for pretrial services.
Y se recomendó una que un tratamiento a través de los servicios previos al juicio.
Ms. Baker?
Thank you, Judge. This incident occurred at 3313 Russell Street in Hapeville.
Este incidente ocurrió en el 3313 en Russell Street en Hapeville.
Officers met with the victim, Miss Garcia Duenas. She
Y
stated,
los oficiales hablaron con la señora García Dueña.
thank you. She stated she had a fight with her boyfriend. He punched her in the face with a closed fist.
Ella dijo que tuvo una pelea con el novio y él le dio un puñetazo en la cara.
Officers observed visible marks and bruises.
Y los oficiales observaron moretones y marcas visibles.
And he destroyed her cell phone with a hammer.
Y él destruyó su teléfono celular con un martillo.
Based on his prior record, the state is requesting a $5,000 surety bond.
Debido a sus antecedentes penales, la fiscalía pide una fianza bajo garantía de $5,000.
Also, that he stay away from the incident location.
También que se mantenga alejado del lugar del incidente.
And that he have no further contact with the young lady.
Y que no tenga ningún contacto más con la jovencita.
And no drugs, weapons, or alcohol and family violence intervention, please.
Y que quede prohibido el uso de drogas, alcohol y armas y que siga un programa de intervención de violencia familiar.
Is there a Miss Garcia Duenas on the Zoom?
¿Está la señora o señorita García Dueña en la plataforma de Zoom? ¿Está usted presente?
All right. Miss Adams, what's your response?
¿Cuál es su respuesta, señorita Adams?
Yes, thank you, Your Honor. Mr. Lopez Perez is a father of 4 children.
El señor López Pérez es el padre de 4 hijos.
He has been in the state of Georgia for the last 23 years.
Y ha estado en el estado de Georgia durante los últimos 23 años.
He has been gainfully employed for the last 20 years with the same 2 employers.
Él ha tenido trabajo remunerado durante los 20 años con los mismos 2 empleadores.
And again, he is a very active parent. He is, go ahead.
Y él es un padre muy activo.
The ages of his children are 17 years old. He has 2 17-year-olds, a 9-year-old and a 15-year-old.
Él tiene 2 hijos de 17 años, uno de 9 y uno de 15 años.
And the employment that he has is in construction, Your Honor.
Y él está empleado en la construcción.
With regards to all of that, Your Honor, we are requesting a signature bond for Mr. Lopez Perez.
Con respecto a todo eso, estamos solicitando una fianza bajo firma para el señor López Pérez.
On the battery charge is going to be $2,500. On the criminal trespass causing damage to property is $2,500. That's a $5,000 signature bond for pretrial services.
Por el cargo de golpes y lesiones son $2,500 de fianza. Por el cargo de allanamiento de morada son $2,500 de fianza. Un total de $5,000 de fianza bajo firma y a través de los servicios previos al juicio.
He has to have no contact with Miss Shimora Garcia Duenas.
Y no puede tener ningún contacto más con la señora Xiomara García Dueña.
He is to stay 200 yards away from her.
No puede, tiene que estar alejado un mínimo de 200 yardas de ella
And any children that he shares with her.
y de cualquier hijo que comparta con ella.
He is to stay away from 3313 Russell Street in Hapeville, Georgia.
Él tiene que mantenerse alejado de la dirección 3313 Russell Street en Hapeville, Georgia.
Within 30 days of being released, he must update the court with a new mailing address.
30 días después que lo pongan en libertad, debe traer la dirección nueva al tribunal.
He may return to the Russell Street location one time only with a police officer to get his personal belongings.
Él puede regresar al lugar del incidente solo una vez, escoltado por un policía y para retirar sus pertenencias personales.
If he wants custody or visitation with any minor children, there must be a third-party transfer.
Si quiere alguna custodia o visita sobre los menores, él tendrá que hacerlo a través de transporte de los niños por una tercera persona.
He's not to consume any illegal drugs, no alcohol, and not possess any weapons and firearms.
Queda prohibida el uso de drogas, alcohol, armas.
Your Honor, I do have a quick question with regards to clarifying your ruling. Is he did not have any further contact with the children, or is it just no violent contact with the children and third-party contact?
Oh, good thing. Yeah. When I say no contact with the children is except, in other words, he can't, if he wants visitation and custody with the children, that's got to be third-party transfer.
Okay.
Ms. Champion, strike out the no contact with children. I meant third-party transfer.
Thank you, Your Honor.
La
Okay,
visita y la custodia debe ser de no contacto violento con los menores y se debe hacer las visitas a través de el transporte de los niños hecho por una tercera persona.
okay. Anything else?
¿Algo más?
All right, that concludes this case.
Okay. Eso termina este caso.
All right, thank you, Ms. Chauncey. You're free to go.
You're welcome. Thank
Appreciate
you.
Thank you.
Courtroom 2, who do we have, please?
Yeah, number 18, Mr. Moore.
All right. I still have position 8, 12, 16, and 21. Any announcements? Eight, 12, 16, and 21.
Yeah, hold on 1 second on those announcements. I'll give it to you shortly.
All right. Position number 8, I have Julio Alberto Mora, accused of battery family violence from October 26, 2023. Case number 23 CR 6735E. Mr. Mora, you've been advised of your right to remain silent, and your attorney is Ms. Adams. Any priors, Mr. Howard?
Second arrest.
What was the
Yeah.
first?
Oh, one moment, Your Honor. I'm sorry to interrupt. My apologies, Your Honor. Which defendant is this?
Position 18, Julio Alberto Mora.
I'm sorry, I don't have him on my list. Bear with me one moment, Your
All
Honor.
right. Miss Abdon or
Oh,
Miss?
Mora. Yes, I do. I am his
Yeah,
attorney. I'm
yes,
ready.
Okay, I'm sorry, I'm mispronouncing that. Mori, okay.
Yes.
And what was the first arrest, Mr. Howard?
2018 possession of marijuana, DUI, drug-related objects.
All
This
right,
was SOB jail recommendation.
all right. And why is this a signature bond through the jail recommendation? Is it a residency issue?
I don't know. That's the PSA. That's how it came up.
Okay. Ms. Dunham?
Thank you, Your Honor.
So officers responded to a call regarding intoxicated individuals. They spoke with the victim, Ms. Leslie Osejo. Apologize if I'm mispronouncing that. And the defendant and Ms. Leslie are roommates, their boyfriend and girlfriend. They have been living together for 3 weeks. Ms. Leslie said they had been drinking and having a good time. When she asked the defendant why he was carrying a blue pill, she labeled as Viagra. She suspected that he was using the pill to be with other women when he left the apartment. Defendant then became mad and agitated and aggressive, pushed her to the floor and threw her into the metallic bar of their bed. She sustained the victim injuries of a knot to her head. So the state is asking for a signature bond through pretrial services, stay away from 265 Ponce de Leon Avenue. No further contact with Ms. Leslie, Family Violence Intervention Program, anger management course, no drugs, alcohol, guns or weapons, and we can sound for the victim, Ms. Leslie, when appropriate. Looks like she's on.
I do see one person called Leslie on Zoom, Miss Oseo. If that's you, and if you'd like to contribute, you're free to unmute and start your video.
Hi. So I would just like to say during the time that my statement was taken, I was
You
very.
need to-
Oh, I'm sorry.
Do you solemnly swear and affirm the testimony you provide will be the truth to the best of your knowledge?
Yes, I do.
All right. Yes, what would you like to say?
So during the time that I took my statement, I was very under the influence of alcohol, in which I don't really recall most of my statement to the police officer. Julio never physically put his hands on me or pushed me. What happened was I was highly upset during that time, so I went in the bedroom and slammed the door shut. At that point, he came into the room trying to come in, and I tripped and fell on my own accord, but he never physically has ever in our relationship put his hands on me. He actually tried to diffuse the situation, but I was too obviously upset at that point to want to calm down. But I do want to say that he has never been violent. I'm not scared of him. And I would like if we just not do the no contact order and possibly do the no violent contact order. Because like I said, he never physically put his hands on me.
All right. How did the cops arrive at the scene?
Julio, like I stated, he tried to defuse the situation and I wouldn't leave. So at that point, he called the police to escort me out. But like I stated, I was drinking most of the day. When he got home is when we started drinking again. But I was more under the influence of alcohol than he was, for sure.
All right. Miss Adams?
Yes, I do actually.
And then, I'm sorry, I wanted to say one last thing. I do not reside at that location. I stay at my own property. We spend the night at each other's homes, but I don't live there. We just spend the night with one another, but that's not my permanent home.
All right, thank you.
That was actually the question that I was going to ask you, ma'am. So aside from that, Your Honor, Mr. Mora, he has a high school diploma. He's gainfully employed. He is an active parent, as active as he can be. His child does live in California. He's lived in Georgia for the past 10 years. He doesn't have very much family. He doesn't have family, but he has many friends. So he is tied to the community. Your Honor, we are asking for a signature bond. We're not going to object to that from the state, but we are asking that it go be through the jail judge and that he be allowed to return home and have no violent contact with the complaining witness.
All right, it's a $2,500 signature bond through the jail. No violent contact with Leslie Osego. No illegal drugs and no weapons. Thank you.
Can I say one last thing? He
No.
left all his belongings,
No.
so he doesn't have his cell phone. Can I provide a phone number so he can contact
Ma'am, the judge said no.
Oh, okay, sorry.
When you ask a question, you wait for a response. All right, next case.
I think that's all we have in court 1, 2, Judge. I was told that number 8, number 12, and number 20 will all be medical resets.
Okay, appreciate
number?
that. I have position number 8, which we have not addressed, and let me see. Terrence Cofield.
He's
medical reset with regard.
Terrence Cofield.
And
Miss
also-
Ashton or Miss Kim or Miss Adams, you all know it's announced a medical reset. Is that your understanding?
I'm not sure if Ms. Abed knows, but I'm not aware. I was just gonna quickly announce, position number 16. It was just a waiver of appearance.
All right, position number 16 is going to be a waiver. All right, we'll address that. What about position 8, Cofield? Miss Kim or Miss Abdon, is this your case?
No, this is conflict case, Your Honor.
Okay. So we're going to reset that to tomorrow, October 28th at 2 p.m.
Yes,
Thank
Your Honor.
you.
All right. And then position number 12. The individual's charged with this is Andrew Todd Long.
Judge, I do know that will be a MH referral,
All right.
or
So-
that will be the state's request, please.
All right. So Miss Kim or Miss Adams or Miss Abdon, have y'all conferred with Mr. Long? No? All right. That's going to be for now, it's going to be a MH reset to October 28th at 2 p.m. This has to be put on record because I don't want any Riverside issues tomorrow afternoon.
Yeah, we're gonna have like 18 people already.
Well, we're just going to keep you company, that's all. All right, so that is position number 12. Then position 16 is a waiver. Position 18 was just addressed. And then the other one is position 21, and that's Aaron Shelton.
I thought we did Shelton yesterday. Did we not?
I was told that he was gonna be a medical reset.
Oh, okay.
Aaron Shelton was reset. No indication that it was reset from yesterday. Aaron Lewis Shelton. Today's the 27th, and I've got a booking date. He was booked on October 25th. He's been in custody for 3 days. Was he addressed on the 25th or 26th?
I thought he was addressed yesterday as well.
Yeah, he got a signature bond yesterday through the jail. Hold on.
Alright.
See something.
Yesterday was Judge Mincy. Miss Champion, did we get a bond order? I don't see one on the.
Hold on, I'm looking at it.
I think this defendant has 2 cases. I'm checking right now.
All right, while we are checking on that, let's address position number 16, in which we have a waiver of appearance. Miss Champion, do you have the waiver of appearance for McDowell?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so courtroom 2, we are done with courtroom 2 and courtroom 3. This is Edgar McDowell, case 23 CR 6730J, accused of criminal trespass causing damage to property from October 20th, 2023. Mr. McDowell's appearance has been waived. He's represented by Public Defense Counsel, Ms. Samantha Adams. Any priors, Mr. Howard?
29. 2019 failure to appear.
All right.
He got an open ag assault, possession of a knife for a firearm during the commission, possession by a convicted felon. 19 SC 168930. Got a 19 SC 168921 ag assault entering auto, trespass, theft by taking terrorist threats. He got a hold out of the cab, $9,000 good bond for the felony case. 23 CP 222-914. You want me to keep going?
No, that's good. Thank you. Ms. Dunlap?
So law enforcement was dispatched to 2400 Campbellton Road Southwest for the call of a fight. They spoke to the victim. It looks like it's a Jared Samples. He stated the defendant came over to his residence unannounced. He took a chair from the rear porch and broke the rear door glass of the home, and then he left. Mr. Samples stated that he's known the defendant for 50 years. The damage was reported to be around $500. The state is looking for a signature bond through pretrial services, stay away from 2400 Campbellton Road Southwest. It looks like the apartment M10. No further contact with Jared Samples, anger awareness program, and no weapons, drugs, alcohol.
Okay, all right. Miss Adams?
Yes, thank you, Your Honor. Mr. McDowell, he is residentially challenged. In speaking with him, he also provided that he's actually lost pretty much his whole family. They all passed away. He had a child and a significant other that had passed away. He does have friends in the area, so he does have ties to the community, especially too because he's born and raised right here in Georgia. He has a 10th grade education, and he has some other issues going on. We are having we have requested our social worker to go out and speak with him with regards to those issues. And also too, Your Honor, he's got a bunch of other cases that are keeping him on hold here in Fulton County. He's not really going anywhere. So we're requesting a signature bond on this particular case because he still has to deal with the other cases as well.
All right, it'll be a $10,000 signature bond through the jail to stay away from that 2400 Campbellton Road. No contact with Jared Samples. No illegal drugs, alcohol, and weapon. He does have a $9,000 bond with Superior Court presently. If he gets arrested again for anything else, this bond is going to be amended to a surety bond. Thank you.
Thank you.
Right. Miss Champion, any luck with the Aaron Shelton case?
Yes, ma'am. He had an additional case that was heard on yesterday, 23 CR 006719D, and he received a $3,000 SOB through the jail on that yesterday.
So what's this 6745? Is that the one, 6745D?
No, that's another case. They added another one.
Yes, the date for these charges are October 23. However, I was not able to interview about these new cases, and I was told that he was going to be medical reset.
All right, this is going to be reset to tomorrow, October 28th. Now, this reset doesn't count towards any Riverside issues, but if there were any previous resets that could have been addressed yesterday, then the defense can do what they want with it, okay?
Yes.
But this 24-hour, this particular 24-hour reset does not add to the Riverside issue, if there is one.
Okay.
Okay. All right, folks, I'm just going to go over the calendar and then we will conclude. Position number 1, Bates is a $1,000 split bond, 500 through the jail and 500 surety. Position 2 is a $1,000 signature bond through the jail. Position 3, Bennett is a medical reset to tomorrow. 4, Bond is a $5,000 signature bond through pretrial. 5, Boyd is a $5,000 signature bond through the jail. 6, Carr is a $1,000 signature bond through pretrial. 7, Childs is a $7,000 surety bond, reset November 9. 8, Cofield is reset to October 28, needs conflict counsel. 9, Dove is a $5,000 signature bond through the jail. 10, Edwards is a $3,500 signature bond through pretrial. 11, Gibson is a $2,500 surety bond, reset November 9. 12 is a medical MH reset to October 28th at 2 p.m. 13, Lopez Perez is a $5,000 signature bond for pretrial. 14, Lowe is a $2,500 signature bond for pretrial. 15, Lyons is a $5,000 surety bond, reset November 9. 16, McDowell's a $10,000 signature bond through jail. 17, Mims is a $3,500 signature bond through pretrial. 18, Morey is a $2,500 signature bond through the jail. 19 is a $20,000 signature bond through the jail per Riverside. 20, Robbins is a $5,000 signature bond through pretrial. 21, Shelton's medical reset to October 28th. 22, Stallings is a $4,000 signature bond through pretrial. 23 is $1,000 signature bond through pretrial services. 24 Wimberley is a 3,000 signature bond through pretrial. 25 Wood is a 3,500 signature bond through pretrial. And 26 is a 1,500, well, it's a 5,000, no, it's a $1,500 surety bond in the current case, ending in 6743G. And the bond in the previous case, 6559G, is amended to $1,000 surety bond. So his total bond is 2,500 surety for both cases. Reset date November 9th at 11 a.m. Okay, and I will submit the amended bond order for the 6559G. Any questions, folks?
Nope.
Thank you.
All right, everyone, enjoy your weekend and your
Thank you.
Bye.
take care.
Yeah.
Okay.
Bye.